What's up, DCDX? Back in the video on Batman 3 Jokers. Now guys, this is issue number 2, and I'm going to get into it very quickly, but a quick recap for you guys. So, what happened now, we have 3 Jokers. The Criminal, which is actually the Joker from the 1940s, issue number 1 of Batman. Then we got the Comedian, who's the one who shot Barbara Gordon. Then we got the Clown, who's the one that killed Jason Todd with a crowbar. So we got these 3 Jokers, they're all working together, which is kind of a character like, wait, why did the Joker work? He never works with anybody. He works by himself. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense because the only person Joker would work with is himself. So it's kind of funny, it's interesting. And lastly, we saw Batgirl, Batman, Red Hood. They're like the main characters of this book. We got 3 Jokers and 3 Bat family members. Now, what happened was Batman, Batgirl, Red Hood sought out because we saw all these different murders happen. We actually saw the murder that actually translates to like the Killing Joke murders, so like the 2 criminals and pretty much Joker in the Red Hood mask. Those are very cool, guys. And what happened was Red Hood, Batgirl, they had this one Joker in custody, right? And Batman went off to help out Commissioner Gordon with another Joker. Now what happened, this one Joker with Red Hood or Jason and Barbara started just pushing them. And then Jason shot Joker in the head, killed him. Barbara missed. She walked away angry, and Jason just like stood there like, wait, did I shoot the right Joker? Now, the story is written by Jeff Johns, amazing writer, and drawn by Jason Valbach. One of the best artists in the DC industry, actually in the comic book industry. But yeah, guys, that's your recap. I hope you're excited, guys. I'm excited. So, let's dive into Batman 3 Jokers, issue number 2. We see a purple van come by, and we see the Joker step out of this van. He goes by the post. He starts to walk and he says, honey, I'm home, and this is the Comedian. And then we see the wife of the Joker. She says, oh, hello, dear. I wasn't expecting you so early, but dinner's ready. And she has pretty much a nice dinner, and Jerry says, it smells wonderful. And she says, I'm so glad you're pleased. And he kisses her on the cheek. He says, where's Junior? Then the mom goes up the stairs. She says, baby, your father's home. And Junior says, I don't want to come down. She says, I'm sorry, baby. You know how upset your father can be if we don't have dinner when he gets home. And the Junior pretty much looks. He says, why can't we just leave? And the mom says, oh, baby, I know you're mad that he hasn't been home much, but he loves us. Please, come dinner for me. Can only keep him downstairs for so long. And Joker yells, honey, Junior is getting cold. And both the son and the mom go down to be with the Joker for dinner. Junior begins to walk down the steps, and the mother says, that's my good boy. They take hands. Joker says, there you are, kiddo. I have such stories to share with you both. Oh, you wouldn't believe the week I've had. And then he says, Junior, why the long face? And then Junior says, it's nothing, Dad. And the Joker just watches, and the mom says, Octopus isn't his favorite, that's all. He's been a very good boy, honey. And then Joker says, have you? That's terrific, son. Here, let me turn that frown upside down. What do you call octopus triplets that look exactly like? Identical. And then he starts laughing. And then he says, well, don't you get it? And he keeps laughing. And then you see him just eating out of like expired food. And somebody from the shadows says, what are you doing? And you see the criminal Joker walk up. And Joker says, I was having dinner. And it turns out the people he was having dinner with is actually not his family. It's just a stuffed bear, which is pretty much like his child. And then this mannequin that's resembling his wife. And the criminal Joker says, with whom? And the Comedian Joker says, myself. Huh. And the criminal Joker says, you're wasting time coming back here. Now, the Comedian Joker says, do not touch her. And this criminal Joker just starts grabbing this mannequin, saying, there's no one else but the Batman. It was your idea to let him in our little secret, to keep him a trail to follow, to make it more fun. How one of us is dead. He throws the mannequin to the floor. It's almost like he's blaming this other Joker for the reason that the one Joker got killed by Jason Todd. You see the mannequin on the floor. And guys, before we switch to the next scene, I want to cover something real quick. So, you see Joker going through all this in his mind, right? Him having a wife, him having a son, and this is the Comedian Joker, right? This is the Comedian. And that's the one that shot Barbara Gordon, pretty much paralyzed her, the one from the Killing Joke. And you guys remember from the Killing Joke, this Comedian Joker, he actually, before he became the Joker, had a wife. The wife was going to have a son, an unborn child. They both died, and that was one of the steps in making Joker become insane. So, is this part just having Joker be at dinner trying to imagine himself like that life he could have had? Like pretty much if that wife was still alive, he actually had the son. Yeah, he's crazy. What's actually really fascinating though is that actually in his dream, he's imagining them being afraid of him. Like, that's actually really crazy. You would think that, okay, this actually is mine. You'd think, oh, they're all happy. Maybe the wife's crazy. Maybe the son's crazy. No, they're actually afraid of him. It actually looks like how I saw this scene at first, before we found out it was just him, like, pretty much eating by himself, was, oh, maybe just show up to a random house and just took over this family. And they're all scared of the Joker. No, this is actually him imagining something. Now, there's another theory that I have about this whole scene that I'll get to later in the video, because there's one panel in this issue later on that has the picture of both this wife and this child, Junior, which is very interesting. It actually kind of connects to Joe Chill. You see the dead body of the clown Joker in pretty much a pool of blood. Now, you hear all Commissioner Gordon and the police talking, they're like, that's not the Joker, and these dogs just barking, and you see this cop, he says, dogs, should we go check it out? And Commissioner Gordon's like, no, he's already inside. You see Bound come out, he took down the dogs, and the cop says, Commissioner, and Bound says, call animal control. And Commissioner says, are they? And Bound says, sedated. Now, you see they go inside. Turns out these dogs pretty much ate and killed this one judge, right? And what happens is this cop says, the guy was mauled by his own guard dogs. And Bound says, not before he was exposed to the same toxins the man Arkham wore. Now, Commissioner says, so it wasn't the Joker who was spotted, it was Judge Walls? But why go after him? He retired years ago. And Bound says, he did retire, Jim. He was forced out. He was dirty, taking bribes from the old Arkham officials to send criminals to the asylum where security was loose. Judge Walls was responsible for Arkham's revolving door. Commissioner says, not that much has changed when it comes to the Joker. And that's when we see Batgirl. She shows up. She says, everything's changed, Commissioner. And Commissioner says, Batgirl. And he says, Batman, said you were escorting one of these 3 Jokers to Arkham. And Batgirl says, I need to talk to Batman privately. And Commissioner says, did the Joker escape? And Batgirl says, no. And Batman says, where's Red Hood? And Commissioner Gordon says, you're after him too? And Batman says, Red Hood's not a criminal, Jim. And Batgirl says, yes, he is. And Batman looks with a stare. You see Batman driving the Batmobile and Batgirl pretty much on her motorcycle on the side. Now, what Batman says is Jason killed the Joker. She says, he killed one of them, yes. What are we gonna do? And Batman just looks. And she says, Bruce, Jason shot him in the head right in front of me. And Batman says, Jason. And Batgirl says, so now we have to deal with 2 more Jokers and Red Hood. And then she could just say, he killed the Joker, he murdered him, Bruce. And Batman says, he killed a Joker, Barbara. That's all we know. And Batgirl says, a Joker, the Joker, whatever the case, what do we do about it? And Batman says, we can't do anything about it. And she says, what are you talking about? And he says, if we arrest him for murder, he'll be forced to unmask. And as the only eyewitness, so would you. And she says, it's not that simple. He says, I'll talk to him. And she says, talk to him? Why are you so calm about this? You should be furious like I am. And she continues to say inside the information, this Joker, whether he was the original one or not, might have had Jason shot a human being who was tied to a chair. He would say, hey, he shot a human being, whether it's a Joker or not. And Batman says, you need to understand Jason's suffering. He says, the Joker hurt him, but he healed wrong. He got more violent. You got stronger. And Batgirl says, you could have helped Jason get stronger. And Batman says, don't you think that's all I wanted to do? I thought he was dead. I'll never forgive myself for leaving him at that grave ever. And Batgirl says, but after you knew he was alive and you thought he was capable of this, why did you train him again? Why did you bring him back to the cave? Why did you wait until now to think he needed to be talked to? Bruce. And Batman says, I was hoping he was more like you. And he closed the window. Now, we shift and we see Red Hood just beating the crap out of these Joker goons, and this Joker goon says, please no. Red Hood bashes his head into the wall, and this Joker goon says, what did you want? You didn't even ask. And Red Hood says, I don't like asking twice. And that's when we see Batgirl. She's pretty much talking to Bruce still. She's like, make Jason put the Red Hood and the guns away, Bruce, before he kills someone else. And Red Hood says to this Joker goon, you Joker hangers-on were asked to find a place to hide a whole lot of chemicals. You better have a good response. Now, Batman says, I'll tell him, Barbara. We're going back and forth between Batgirl and Batman talking and Red Hood beating the crap out of this Joker henchman. Now, we then see this Joker henchman say, I can't say I won't. Whatever you do to me, he's like, he would do worse. And Red Hood's like, you don't have to tell me. Detectives in the hood are already picking up. He says, I can see it all over you, pool cleaner. And then he says, now you might think this means I let you walk away, but I can't have you going anywhere until the cops pick you up. He says, wait, and then Red Hood grabs him, and the Joker goon just screams. Now, we shift, guys, and we see Blackgate. Now, we see Batman and Batgirl show up. Batman says, before the police came in, I examined the body of Judge Walls. He was bludgeoned to death with his humanitarian award before his dogs got to him. And then Batgirl says, why did you tell my father that? And Batman says, because of the fingerprints on the award. They belong to an inmate here. And Batgirl says, who? Bruce, who is it? And Batman says, Joe Chill. Now, you see Batman's walking through pretty much this whole, Arkham Asylum. You see different, plates say, Rupert Thorne or Alexander Sartorius. And you see Batman walk all the way. You see a lot of panels of hands. Now, what's really interesting about this is this really gets a callback to the Killing Joke, guys. You remember the Killing Joke at the beginning? You saw Two-Face, you saw their hands just scraping at the prison doors. And that's basically what's happening here. You see different inmates as Batman's walking down here to confront Joe Chill. Now, what we see is Batman's walking down, he remembers that night. You see him talking to his mom, you see a gun come up, you see Joe Chill right there, and Batman arrives at the cell. He says, you know who? And then he murmurs. He says, you know who I am. And then he says, we need to talk now. He clenches his fist. He kicks the door. He kicks the jail cell open. His eyes looking in. And he sees nothing. Nobody's there. But if you zoom in, you see a lady and a child. And I don't know, but the child looks a little similar to Junior from the beginning of the comic. And the mother, well, I'm thinking it's the mother, looks very similar to the beginning of the comic as well. But guys, we continue, and that's when Batgirl says they moved him. And Batman says, where is he? And Batgirl says he's sick. And then we see at Blackgate Hospital wing, and it turns out Joe Chill, he has cancer. And Batgirl's like, how could Joe Chill's fingerprints be on a murder weapon from tonight? And Batman says, well, with a little digging, we can find out that actually somebody may have came here and pretty much met up with Joe Chill. And then Batgirl says, what connection is there between the Joker and Joe Chill other than you? And Batman says, I don't know. And then he says, Jason just accessed the Bat computers from his helmet. Alfred has his location. Batgirl says, but Bruce. And Batman says, I think Jason found the other two. Now, we see Red Hood, yes, he gets off his motorcycle and he makes it to this pool place, right? Now, he gets his crowbar, he opens up the door, and he starts walking in. He walks past all these lockers, and then he opens the door, he pulls out his gun, he steps on a sign that says, no diving. And then he says, man. And then he says, what are they doing? And you see a pool of people. It has chemicals inside. And all these people are just getting Jokerized, right? Red Hood gets down, gets a toothpick, he puts it in. And see, it's the same chemicals that transformed pretty much the Joker. Now, what we see is Red Hood says, I can't believe I'd be bound here. Chemicals have been seen well, safe enough to breathe. He takes off his mask, or his helmet, and he says, Batgirl, do you read me? And then out of the pool comes one of the victims, and they grab Red Hood by the ankle, and this person says, help me. And Red Hood says, let go, you freak. He kicks him in the face, he takes out his gun, and then he starts crawling back. And somebody says, we hope you come. And the Joker grabs him, they start laughing, they say, yes, he'll be perfect. Now we see Jason wakes up, and they say, Jason Todd, hey thief, you should have been cuffed and arrested. But then the Batman took you in to make you the second Robin. You were reborn. And he says, and then, after your death, you were reborn again. You see Jason just naked and Joker above him. And the criminal Joker says, but things happen in threes. And Jason says, like you guys? And the criminal Joker says, I was the first. Before Batman, I ran Gotham. And Jason says, newsflash, Joker, number whatever the hell you say you are, one of your buddies has crazy-ass brains all over the aquarium floor, and as soon as I get free, you're next. And the Joker just starts laughing, and he laughs even harder. He laughs and cries as he does this. And Jason says, what the hell is wrong with you? And Joker says, I'll let you in on a little secret about the Joker, boy. It hurts to laugh. And Jason says, so what? You trying to tell me you're the real Joker? And then Joker goes up to him. He says, who is the Joker really? And then he puts a helmet on Jason, the same Red Hood mask, but it has a smile on it. And we see the criminal Joker. He says, we spent considerably time trying to best answer that question. Who is the Joker? We found that judge, a serial killer, a surgeon, all rather predictable and uninspiring. And then there's you. Tell me something. Why would you put on the helmet and call yourself Red Hood after what we did? And Jason says, come on, is every one of you copycats gonna ask him the same question? And he smiles. It's a joke. The criminal Joker says, a joke, we left you with brain damage and permanent nerve pain. Physical and emotional trauma is so severe that the only relief you ever find is when you inflict pain on others. And he says, you and me, boy, we're more alike than you care to admit. And then he says, but you know that, right? You nearly died and you blame the Batman. You hate him for it. Me too. And Jason says, I hate a lot of people. And Joker says, but you hate him most of all, don't you? Batman needs a better Joker. And then he says, but, to put it simply, you're just not bright enough. He pretty much just tells Jason, nah, you're not gonna be the next Joker because you're just stupid. He puts on his hat and then he tells Jason, tell me, Jason, does it hurt when you laugh? And you see comedian Joker get crowbar and he bashes Jason's head. And the criminal Joker says, we were hoping it might be you. It would have made so much sense. First you're the Red Hood and then you're the Joker, but that's not in the cards. And then we see comedian Joker just hit Red Hood down and he keeps hitting and says, you know, this really is more fun than it was the first time. He keeps hitting and Jason's like, well, you better do it better this time. Make sure I'm dead. And Joker basically says, oh, why would I do that? I'm still rooting for you. Kiddo, why? I hope you rise back up and prove us wrong as the Joker. And he keeps hitting him and you see a pile of blood. Now, guys, so what happened here is Red Hood just got to decline. It was getting really cool, guys, in the comic where I was like, man, is Jason going to become the Joker? I was like, that is super interesting and really fascinating, but no, he's just stupid. In the Joker's eyes, right? Now, my favorite Joker is the criminal Joker. Just how, like, he's very methodical in how he talks and stuff and how he plans everything out. And to find out that the comedian Joker is actually the one that killed Jason Todd, that means, wait, so how does the Clown Joker actually factor into this? Did he really do anything? Was he just in, like, not big parts in Joker's history? Did the comedian Joker, is this the Joker that killed Jason Todd and shot Barbara Gordon? Like, that makes him an ultimate threat, alright? Like, he's put a lot of trauma on the Bat family. But you probably think, wait, he's the better Joker, right? No, the criminal Joker. He's just so methodical. You see Batgirl, she breaks the door open, and she says, Red Hood, and Batman says, we couldn't enter quietly, and she says, if Jason's here, he didn't. And then Batman says, point taken, and Batgirl says, at least this place is condemned. Hopefully no incense war. And then you hear a lot of laughing, and Batgirl says, where's that coming from? Batman looks. And you see an army of different Jokerized people that came out of the pool. And then they just start attacking Batman. And Batman's like, more Jokers. And they laugh and like, help me. And Batman says, more victims. And Batman says, they must have Jason. They start going through, they're taking all these Jokers down, even though they're saying, hey, help me. And then Batgirl and Batman, they do a handshake and a whole shockwave takes out these different Jokers. And then the Batmobile comes by, runs over a bunch of them. And then you see Batman, he's like, we can still save some of them. We can save Jason. And then you hear from afar, save me? And then you see this Jokerized person. Batgirl says, Jason. And this person says, not Jason. And he laughs and dies. And Batgirl says, for a moment I thought it was him, Bruce. And Batman says, he's not here. Hood. And he keeps walking. And Batgirl says, why are they doing this? And Batman says, I don't know. And then they find Jason. He's naked and just beaten. And then you see Batman. He's like, Jason, are you? And then Red Hood says, don't touch me. He gets away. And Batman says, Jason, it's Bruce. And Red Hood says, you're the Red Hood first. And then you become the Joker. There are more than one out there. Probably have been for a long time. They want to make another one. Someone who knows you, who hates you. Batman says, Jason, you're alright? And Jason says, am I alright? He starts having a meltdown. He throws the helmet. He says, what do you think, Bruce? And Batman catches it. And Jason says, you did this to me. You put me on this path. And then you see him start walking to the wall. He says, and I do hate you for everything. For leaving me in the dirt. Replacing me with one Robin after another. Without a thought. And Batgirl says, Jason, what are you gonna do, Barbara? Arrest me? Do it already. Lock me up. Pull me away. What are you waiting for? Batgirl grabs him by the shoulder. And he says, what do you want? And she says, right now, I just want to get you someplace safe. You see, back at the apartment, Batgirl opens the door. Jason's in there sleeping. And she says, he's asleep. And Batman says, I have a few more leads I'm going to check on. Batgirl says, what about Jason? Batman says, he needs to rest. And Barbara says, he could have died tonight. He killed someone. He needs you here. And Batman says, Jason said, Barbara, we need to make sure the rest of Gotham is too. Jason wakes up. He walks over. He's like, where the hell am I? He looks. He sees the wheelchair. He sees all these different calendar notes showing Barbara's trauma. Batgirl makes it through a window. And she says, Jason? And Jason says, Barbara. And then Batgirl says, I figured you left. And Jason says, I hope it's okay. I used the shower and I didn't mean to go through your things. The closet door was open and that book looked useful. And she says, it was. Are you okay? And he says, I don't think I've ever been okay. And she looks. And he says, what the Joker said about how I've been on the path to being like them for years. They're not wrong. I don't want to be like them though. I really don't. You believe me that, don't you? And Batgirl says, I'm willing to. And he says, can I ask you something? And Jason says, the calendar in your closet, the wheelchair, the books, why keep it all? Does it hurt to look at it? She says, no, I mean it used to, Jason. And what she says, like, in healing, you have to look at the past. You have to reference it to pretty much become stronger. And Jason says, yeah, I never got any of that to pretty much heal. He never got healing from all his traumatic experience. And she says, that's because we thought you were dead, Jason, including Bruce. By the time you were back, you recreate yourself on your own as the Red Hood. We all wished we had been there for you. And Jason says, no one has ever said that to me. And Barbara says, well, I'm saying now. Then they kiss. And Barbara says, we should have done that. And she says, I just wanted you to know I cared. Jason says, I never felt like anyone cared. And she looks, she says, I'm sorry about that, I really am. And Jason says, Barbara. And she says, it was just a moment, Jason. That's all it was. We need to get back in the case. The Joker's hurt enough people, and so have you, okay? And Jason says, yeah, okay. You guys want to hear my thoughts on this? One, I'm not a big fan of Jason. Barbara just kissing. Like, come on. Barbara is going through all the boys in the Bat family. She got Dick. She got Tim Drake in Arkham universe. Now she got Jason. What are they going to do next? Like, Damian's gonna turn 18 years old. It's like, he's free. That's what Barbara's gonna be like, alright? But still, this whole scene, I didn't really like when they kiss. Like, it makes sense, okay? Like, it's not bad. I thought it'd be worse. Because actually, this image did get leaked a little bit before this book was released. And I wasn't searching for spoilers, guys. It just got leaked on Instagram. But still, it got leaked, and I was like, how are they gonna do this? Are they gonna have sex? Are they gonna go the full mile? How's it gonna go? But turns out it's just two traumatic people just sharing their experience. And it's not that they have like a romantic tension or they have love, it's more just they're sharing that experience, right? Which I'm fine with. But it's also kind of like just shoehorned in there. Like they could have easily just said, actually they could have easily just have Barbara hug Jason. Simple as that. Like, hey, I want to tell you that somebody actually cares. They didn't have to kiss. I feel like that's just to cause controversy or cause a big moment in the book. Now, other parts, seeing Jason naked with a Red Hood mask with a smile get beaten by the comedian Joker was wow. It was a very gruesome scene, and the criminal Joker, he was very like, nah, you're stupid. Like, that was like, wow. And then Batman, see him just leave Jason again. Honestly, I feel like this story is more Barbara and Jason focused. So you see a lot of them in issue number 1, a lot of them in issue number 2, but Batman is kind of on the sidelines. Like, yeah, he's Batman, but there's actually only been one scene in this entire book so far, this entire series, where we see Bruce, which was the very opening scene. Yeah, we see Bruce have all the bandages with Alfred, but other than that, it's just been Batman. Yeah, there's been Killing Joke references, you see him go through all this, but you haven't seen him like go through that trauma yet, really. You see Barbara, she's broken down. You see Jason, he's broken down, but Batman hasn't yet. Will he break down next issue? We don't know. Maybe Batman will become like the main character again next issue. But most of all, Joker, he's kind of get sidelined too, which I don't feel like that's a bad thing. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? So on one hand, I'm like, I like the Batgirl and Jason being focused. You know, the Jason stuff is kind of the same stuff we learned and actually read about in pretty much Under the Red Hood. It's not new information. And this whole thing about the Joker being recreated by the chemicals, it's not new either. All these concepts aren't really new, other than the whole Three Jokers thing, which hasn't been explained yet. Which I really want them to explain, because that's the big thing I came to read this book about. Like Darkseid War, it was awesome. Hearing that big bombshell, seeing Jeff Johns wrap up Doomsday Clock, wrap up everything in this universe, and then this one missing plot thread with the Three Jokers finally gets solved, but it hasn't been solved yet. It's just been a bunch of, shock moments. Jason kills somebody. Oh, let's focus on Barbara and Jason on the same things we've been looking at for years. Well, actually, Jason, we haven't seen this Jason in a while. We haven't seen this Red Hood for ages, so it's cool to see him back, but at the same time, this is a Joker story, not a Red Hood one. So I hope they focus more on Joker and Batman. Like, it's Batman Three Jokers. Batman and Joker in the title, not Red Hood and Batgirl. Now, how this issue finishes up, we see Joker with Joe Chill. Now, you see Joker, he says, it's chilly out here. You bet it's chill. And he says, it's chilly? That's what Joe Chill says. And during this purple bit van, and Joe Chill says, what do you want with me? And Joe says, first you warm up, Chill. You need your hat. And they says, now it's lights, camera, action. They start playing a video. And he says, what? And Joker says, it's time to finally confess, Mr. Chill. And the criminal Joker says, why did you really kill Thomas and Martha Wayne? And you see him with the camera. It's an awesome image by Jason Valbach. And that's how issue number 2 ends, leading into the finale. Now guys, before we continue, Artwork by Jason Valbach, let me address it, it's amazing. It's still the best artwork I see in the industry. It looks really good, especially Joker, guys. That final image just pops. I can see that as a poster, guys. It looks really good. And guys, the whole sequence, like this whole issue has really good sequential art. You guys know what I mean, like our comics are really good for how like just the scene flows. Especially scenes like Red Hood walking into the whole like building where like the two Jokers are and where they beat him. Like you see like 2 pages of no dialogue. Just Red Hood walking through the stuff, putting like a toothpick in the pool of water, him seeing like a pool of Jokerized people. I really like when writers just let the artist like do the work for him. Like I phrased that wrong. Not do the work for them, let the artist tell the story. Now, there's bad things where some writers think, alright, I'll just have the artist do all the work, and I just put in some work. No, Jeff Johns actually write a good story, but he lets Jason Valbach show his strengths and let Jason Valbach really flex. He lets Jason Valbach show some amazing image, show some amazing like 9-panel grid panels, like make some awesome stuff, which I really like. It shows Jason Valbach and Jeff Johns on the same page. So it shows there's a lot of talent, a lot of like planning, a lot of stuff going into this book, which I really appreciate as a DC fan. Now, is this issue better than issue number 1? No. No, I don't think it is, because there's just some missing holes. Like one, the beginning with the Joker, I think the comedian, that's actually him seeing his wife and his son, but it's not really revealed, and I don't think that whole thing will be revealed. I think it's just not that. There's a lot of scenes in this book where it's like, oh, here's a reference to the Killing Joke, here's a reference to that, which that's cool, but it also fluffs up the book where it's kinda like just meandering a little bit. Now that's bad. I was interested the whole way through and I kept reading at a fast pace. But there's times where I was like, alright, let's get past these references, let's get past these scenes, I want to actually see something shocking. And the part where it's starting to get shocking, where like, oh, Red Hood's gonna become the Joker, it didn't happen. All the answer we got was, yeah, Red Hood's stupid, he can't be the Joker. That's it. Which, guys, I'd like to know your opinions on that down below. Like, do you think Red Hood should become the Joker? Do you think it was handled well? I don't know. Like, I wasn't a big fan of it. I like the scene. The writing's amazing. Just the choices, it could have been done a little better. You know what I mean? And also, Batgirl and Red Hood kissing. Like, tell me your thoughts on that down below. I thought the scene was good, but the panel, like those 2 panels, actually just that one panel in general, I feel like just taking it out of context, it makes you think something else is going to happen. But when you put it in context, it makes sense, but it feels also shoehorned in. And guys, the ending of, oh, why'd you kill Thomas and Martha Wayne? That's a good cliffhanger, but it's nothing super shocking, mind-blowing that we've been waiting for 4 years. I hope issue number 3 brings all this setup, because issue number 1 through 2 has just been all set up, guys. All set up. So I hope it all comes together next issue and makes it a masterpiece, alright? I still think this issue was well done. And one more theory I have, I think Joe Chill may become the next Joker. What that actually really interesting, may make Joker the guy who killed Batman's parents. Like, we know that's not actually how it happened. Like, yeah, in the Tim Burton verse, with like pretty much the original Batman movie, like Joker killed his parents. So it's interesting with that, like comparing that movie to now, like seeing Joe Chill being captive with the Joker, the criminal Joker who's methodical and thinking this all together. Will he make Joe Chill the next Joker? That'd be really cool, right? Maybe, it may be lame. I like to know you guys' thoughts down below. And tell me your theories too, because there's a lot of theorized. And I just hope it comes together next issue. I hope it's not just a lot more mentoring, a lot more references, and it's still a decent story, but not something that was worth the 4-year wait. But guys, I'm overall going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was solid. It was great stuff. I still recommend it, guys. Still recommend it for the artwork, the writing. It's still top notch. But it's no masterpiece yet. It's getting there. I just need to see it come together. But yeah, guys, like the video, give me a big thumbs up on YouTube. Make subscribe to my next Batman 3 Jokers review. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.